We must hit back.
All right, now.
Right. Fire!
Everybody, Mr. Slipcover Bullet Blake here. I have a Blu review today, and it is for 1967's Amicus release of the Terrornauts. This movie just actually really jumped out to me. I don't know why. I've never seen this. I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan. I just thought it looked pretty unique. I didn't really dive too deep into it beforehand, and we talked about it on the announcement stream, and it just looked really good, to be honest. Not so much good as in quality good, but just as in this is worth it for a blind buy. For me, at least. Sometimes I don't buy every VSL release, but this one just, I don't know, it just looked interesting. Interesting enough. It stars Simon Oates, Zena Marshall from Dr. No, Charles Hawtrey from all the Carry On movies. I love this inside sleeve. This is the reverse sleeve on the inside. It's pretty misleading, I'll say that, but I love this. I wish this was the slipcover, and honestly, if it was a slipcover, it probably would have sold a whole lot faster because people would just be 10 times as interested. This looks sick, looks fantastic. It's a very minimal part of the movie itself, but still, I mean, you can acknowledge that insert looks fantastic. Anyways, it's a movie about this, I guess, I don't know what I would really call them. It's, I guess, a group of scientists or space explorationists or whatever. They got this grant to try and contact the stars.
The Foundation gave us a grant for it, didn't they?
And in 4 years, we've shown no results.
So what? It took centuries to find Pluto.
Yeah, that's right. But at least they knew it was out there somewhere, didn't they?
And they're got an oversight over them, and they're trying, they have a 3-month deadline to find some sign of life from outer space.
I'm convinced that there must be other intelligent creatures in the galaxy besides ourselves, and if we search long enough, we'll find them. But it won't happen overnight.
No, but it better happen within the next 3 months, and that's as long as I'm prepared to give you. After that, all this nonsense has got to stop. I've already written to the Foundation making that recommendation.
And of course, it happens.
Matter of fact, Joe, I'm not so sure the neutral hydrogen band is the one where we're most likely to hear an alien signal. As you well know, most of the universe is made of hydrogen. And punching a signal through all that background clutter.
Shut up, Ben. Listen.
They get this signal that's coming from a comet, I guess, where they don't believe there's any life on that planet, but the signal is coming through. So they purchase all this stuff, spend a ton of money to buy this stuff so they can contact it back. And I guess they didn't really think too investigatively because it takes Charles Hawtrey's character, who's basically an auditor. He asks them after the fact of, what if they're monsters? What if they're bad guys in space?
Dr. Burke, in that case, don't you think it dangerous to draw attention to ourselves?
In what case?
In case they are monsters.
And they're like, oh, well, no, they couldn't be, blah, blah, blah. If they were bad, they wouldn't send a signal. Well, judging by this cover right here, you know that not all of them are good, at least. And it takes a turn when their whole space station gets abducted from Earth. I mean, this poorly executed spaceship comes down and sucks up a house where you can see the strings and shit.
Power failure.
Here, who done that?
be the emergency part. About time, too. Hello? Hello? Oh.
Oh, you'll have to excuse me.
And I know it's all from being upscaled and like looking good, and the picture does look good. It almost looks too good. Like the color looks like it's almost like a colorized production to me. It looks great. Like the quality of the film actually looks fantastic. But the strings and the poorly executed like spaceship stuff, which I get it, it's 1967. It's early. It's rough to do sci-fi stuff. But I imagine that you probably couldn't see that stuff back in the day. Not that that's the detrimental part to the movie. The worst thing about this movie is that it's just fucking boring. It is boring. Like it just goes on and on. It's a lot of stuff that happens inside this building with bleepy lights and like a big open thing to the space station, like satellite that they have. It's just a lot of boring parts and a lot of exposition. They show a clock to make sure you know just how much time you're wasting. Like it continuously cuts back to this clock on their wall, and it's like, stop reminding me that this has been 72 hours of my life that I've spent watching this fucking movie now. So I don't know if I think the majority of people would be into this movie, because I was just not that into it. These aliens do appear in the movie, but they do not look this good. They do not look even close to that good. I don't.
Sandy!
Why they show a whole bunch of people in like prisoned there, because they don't actually they don't really do much of shit. So yeah, much of shit. That's a good way to put it. And then there's like a space fight. I don't want to spoil the ending, obviously. I know some of you have probably bought this already and are planning on watching it. Some of you might not really be decided on it yet. I would not advise anyone to buy this. I mean, it's not awful, but it is boring. It is a boring ass movie. Very little goes on. The ending, I would say actually the ending is kind of satisfying to an extent. I almost wish that it was like, it went further, like it went on, but it does just kind of like, it's one of those cheesy 60s endings, but I wish it would have gone further than it does, and maybe I'm alone on that, but I just wish I could have got some more. Anyways, I would probably give this one, I want to say 2 stars. I just don't think I'd ever revisit it again. The special effects are entertaining, but they're not good. The idea that this guy basically painted a picture because he had a dream when he was a kid, and then they end up on that planet that he painted as a child.
And this was the picture I painted next day to try to recall what I'd seen.
Doesn't seem much to build a career on, does it? But, well, there was something so real about that dream that I feel I'd actually been to the planet, that it was calling to me for help.
I don't know. I thought that was a bit much, a bit extreme. But, yeah. So, that is the Terrornauts. And I just don't think that it's a great addition to most people's collections. I know a lot of people like this British, like, sci-fi movie from the 60s. But it's just not for me. I do love that cover art. I really, really wish they would have put that on the slip. It does have some special features. I think there's 3 special features, ignoring the commentary track. There's Sabatsky the Trailblazer, which is an interview with a film critic and writer, Kim Newman, which was fantastic. He's really into it. He tells you all about these books that they based on movies and stuff like that. Kind of rambles on a bit to stuff that doesn't really pertain specifically to this movie, but that's okay because it was actually genuinely interesting. And I watched all 22 minutes of that special feature. There's archival interviews with the editor and an archival interview with the production manager. I watched both of those, but the editor one was a little more, like, engrossing, I guess. Like, I was more into the editor one. The other one, I was kind of trailing off at that point. Again, I didn't really care for the movie all too much. But overall, I think 2 stars is a fair rating for this film. And that is what I got for you today. So, if you liked the video, don't forget to leave the thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe for more reviews from Vinegar Syndrome and other movies. And until next time, have a good day.
What do you make of that, Ben?
It's a kind of vibrator. Can't you feel it? I better try and break it. These things can do nasty things to the brain if the pitch gets up into ultrasonics. Ah!